Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Chair of the Paraparaumu Raumati Community Board, Johnny Best. Johnny, how are you placed at the moment?
Yeah, not too bad, Nigel. I'm in the kingdom of Paikokariki at the moment.
Great. What's the traffic like out there at the moment on the roads?
It's not too bad, not too bad.
Good as gold. Now, you had a meeting, we didn't speak to you last Monday, it was a holiday, but you had a meeting just prior to that, and Otaraua Park, you've got some plans going for development to the council for open for public discussion. What have you decided to do at that park?
Well, I don't recall us talking about Otaraua Park at our last meeting. It is on our matters under action.
Right.
There is, I know that there has been land secured, or parts of it secured for a second entrance there at some stage for the further development, but it's a long-term project, Otaraua Park.
Yeah, as I was talking to people in the weekend, they said, when is somebody going to do something about some changing rooms and toilets at the park there?
Yeah, well, I think that's all part of the long-term plan for what's happening there. I know that there is going to be some money budgeted for that, or for the development of Otaraua Park in the long-term plan, and drainage of the fields is the first thing that's going to be happening there as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, well, they've got the drainage in. It's just, what happens to the players there. It's a bit awkward at the moment, actually. You get big fields of players, and the toilet system is sort of null and void, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's something planned for there.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that the community board may have been chasing that along in a great urgent matter, seeing you're going to be using it a lot. That was the only thing.
Well, one of the things, and some of the board members have various sort of opinions on this, that Otaraua Park was sort of supposed to be developed a little bit later on, and board members sort of would prefer sort of MacLean Park to be developed before then. Right.
So any development on that from your meeting last time?
MacLean Park is, it's all part of the long-term plan. It's just, we're actually having a meeting with councillors this Thursday to discuss our priorities, but we're sort of supporting what's going to be happening down there.
Yeah, I mean, some people say, well, the toilets aren't that bad. They're just as long as they're kept clean. I think that's the most important thing, but that's one of the priorities, I think, of your board, isn't it, to get better toilet systems?
Yeah, well, look, there is some money budgeted in the long-term plan to do a bit of a spruce up of the toilets there. My view is that there's no point in spending lots and lots of money on the toilets if later on we're going to get a new toilet block down there anyway.
Right. Anything else in the plans that you can tell us about at this stage that you're going to be pushing for?
Well, one of the things that we sort of discussed in the annual plan last year was we sort of pointed out some of the things that were sort of perhaps not in the short-term plan, but in the long-term plan. One of those was sort of the town centres with the Raumati village, and we'd like to see a little bit of work done there.
Right.
There is some work planned for down there, but it's not until sort of 2026 or something like that. We'd like to see something done down there a bit sooner.
Certainly have to be done sooner than that, I would think, Johnny. You might have to press them along a wee bit as a community board. And what about the market there? They're suggesting that they might close off MacLean Street on a Saturday morning, or parts of it, to run the market, which sounds a fairly good idea. Has the board thought about that?
Yes, well, that came up at our board meeting. We had the market organisers come to our board meeting.
Oh, yes.
And we're very supportive of the market, and there was a motion passed at the meeting that we're sort of hoping that council will facilitate the relocation so that it actually can remain down there at the beach.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they had to close off the street, I don't think the shopkeepers are too unhappy. They're quite for it. But the council, I suppose, have they got any objection to something like that?
I don't think there'd be an objection, but I mean, obviously there's all the regulatory requirements and traffic management plans and things like that will have to be sort of sorted out. So hopefully council can sort of make that process as easy as possible for the organisers of each market.
Yeah, priority just about.
It's a great asset.
Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, it drags in lots of people and it's good for the community down there as well. All right, anything else come up out of the meeting the other night, Johnny?
Well, we had Greater Wellington Regional Council come to our meeting, and they discussed what was happening at Queen Elizabeth Park. There's one of with the recent cyclone that came through, has basically ruined one of the coastal tracks, so they're looking at moving the track inland a wee bit.
Oh, yes.
And board members actually went for a little walk along the park the Thursday before Easter to view the park.
And what do you come up with? Any good ideas on how to fix it?
Well, there is going to be a track, hopefully inland a little bit. I mean, obviously it's a bit of a tricky sort of thing with sand and moving sand to make a track. But I think it's actually going to give us some great vistas. It sort of goes up a wee bit, and you'll get coastal views, and it's going to be great.
Good. Greater Wellington Regional Council on board with that, are they?
Yeah, they're the ones that are sort of facilitating that and liaising with the board.
Right. And they were talking about weed and settlement clearing work as well. Did you discuss that at the meeting?
Yes, we did, and we actually saw some of the work that they've been doing there, and the vision that they've actually got for the park and restoring the wetlands. And I think it's a long-term plan, but where there has been some wetlands restored, you can see what it's going to be like in the future, and it's going to be great in years to come.
Great. Did you get out on the Argentinian ant eradication on Saturday and Sunday?
Sorry, what was that?
Did you get out and help with the Argentinian ants eradication on Saturday and Sunday?
No, I was away Saturday and Sunday, Nigel.
Oh, right, okay. All right, well, thanks very much for that, Johnny, and have a good trip into Wellington.
All right, great stuff. Thank you,
Good
Nigel.
on you. Yes, he's the chair of the Paraparaumu Romantic Community Board, Johnny Best, here on the beach.
106.3 Beach FM.